was now in a situation where he had been called the king. But he's not yet walking in his call. He was in fact serving a king called Saul. He was actually just becoming pretty popular at this time. And as his popularity increased, people's disdain for him increased as well. So the Philistines had David on the run. Saul's got David on the run. And David finds himself a refugee. He finds himself a fugitive. There were attempts on David's life. David is out there on the run. David running for his life. He finds himself at a strange place called the cave of Adullam. It's a place of backsliding for David. It's a familiar place. It's not the place that God would necessarily have him to be, but it's the place where he can find refuge. David's in a place where he's running for his life. And the first thing I want you to understand about the 3D, it's all right. Enjoy it like a pro, son. It's all right. Is that a 3D pastor must understand how to deal with discouragement. The Bible says, so David departed from there and escaped to the cave of Adullam. The first thing he had to do was depart from there. And one of the most difficult things that any man of God will ever have to do is depart from there. The moment he departed from there, he found himself with a number of predicament, and he was in a situation that he could no longer control, but he had to depart from there. When he departed from there, he found himself in a cave. Not where he had anticipated going yet. He found himself in a place, it was a dark place. It was a lonely place. And I come to tell you tonight, son, that there are some battles you're going to have to fight all on your own. And there's some times where you'll find yourself in a cave all by yourself, running from things that you thought were on your side, but now you realize that everybody who smiles at you does not have your back. Everybody, oh man, I wish I could talk about it for a minute. Ain't no bite like sheep bite, my friend. Listen to me. When you find yourself in a cave, a dark place, a damp place, a lonely place, a place where you feel like you've underachieved. It's a beautiful thing when you launch out to do your thing, and we all feel like after a few months we're going to pack out everything and everything is going to be wonderful. But every day is not a good day. And everybody gets to tell you that the Lord, Pastor, the Lord has changed my mind and our season is up. And they're going to come to you on Sunday morning and tell you, Pastor, my season is up. So I made up my mind a long time ago, well, why should they be the only ones who get to tell you when their season is up? I start calling up folk myself. The Lord told me, your season is up. David finds himself in a cave. Somebody say a cave. Okay. He's in a dark place. He's in a lonely place. And then you think about David. David was in this cave when he penned Psalm 142. But in Psalm 142, David is complaining about being in the cave. In Psalm 142, he says, I cried unto the Lord with my voice. With my voice unto the Lord did I make my supplication. I poured out my complaint before him. I showed before him my trouble when my spirit was overwhelmed within me. Then you know my path. In the way wherein I walked, have they privily laid a snare for me. I looked on my right hand, and behold, there was no man that would know me. Refuge, and my portion in the land of the living. Unto my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors, for they are stronger than I. Bring my soul out of prison. David is praying a prayer of deliverance, saying, God, why in the world did you put me here? This isn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be sweet. And Pastor, I came to tell you that some of the people that walk with you think that they can do what you do. Because sometimes you can make a thing look easy. But you'll never know what you're into till you get into it. And the moment you get into it, you This is not what I thought it was. This is something altogether different. Now I realize what I was missing. He finds himself in a place where he's on the run. He used to play the harp for Saul, and the demons would be fleeing because David was so anointed in his musician position. But now he's been anointed and ordained for something different, and it's hard for people to accept change in your life. Some people will always see you as what you used to be, and you got to accept the fact that some people's mind will never change about you. But that's all right. The thing I love about God is that God does not call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And no matter what folk think about you, no matter what folk like you, what folk don't like you, one thing I love about God is that God don't wait for nobody to promote you. I thank God that folks can take your title, they can take your money, they can even take your building. But one thing they cannot touch is your anointing. Look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, I'm anointed for this. I got the power of God on my side. Every time I do this, demons tremble.
Touch not that anointing. Touch that not now.
Yeah, you got to be willing to deal with discouragement. A 3D pastor, we feel like we're going to go up.
Amen.
And God says, no, you have to understand that to whom much is given,
much is required.
Much is required. David's at a place where he's complaining about being in the cave, and what I've learned is that people really don't care that much. I understand that a lot of the perks, and you need to understand that many of the perks and all of the accolades and all of the attention is not really about you at all. It's really about the position you hold. There's a story of a man, and the man went to a speech, and he was the chairman of a prominent company, and he went to do the speech, and when he went to do the speech, he went and they blessed him, and they gave him a first-class flight. And then after they gave him the first-class flight, they gave him first-class accommodations. He had a chauffeur and a nice driver in a car, and they drove him to his wonderful, wonderful five-star hotel. And when he got to that five-star hotel, they put him up in the suite. And then when he got up to speak, before he got up to speak, he said, listen, I need some coffee. And they went and they got him a porcelain cup and gave him a porcelain cup. Well, he did so well that time that they said, man, you did so great, we want you to come back next year. The next year came, he was no longer the chairman, he had a lower position. This time he didn't have first class, he was flying coach. Not only that, he didn't have anyone to pick him up from the airport. He had to get to the hotel by himself. When he got to the hotel, he didn't have a suite. He had a regular room, just like everybody else. The hotel wasn't a 5-star. This one was a 3-star. And then when he got up to speak, before he got up to speak, he asked for a drink of coffee, and they gave him a styrofoam cup. And he realized, wait a minute, you mean all this time I thought that it was about me, and they were doing this because it was me. But he realized real soon it was not about him. Those perks were for the position that he was in. 3D, you got to respect the office of the pastor. And you got to keep folk up off your pastor. Everybody needs antibodies. Amen. See, when you come to the kingdom, I got some antibodies. I ain't got to fight you because they'll cut you from me. I got some folk that'll cut you so smooth, you don't even know you've been cut till you get up the street. It's like that old cartoon. They get to shooting you, you be like, you missed me. Then you go to drinking stuff and just start leaking out the holes. You got to have some folk that'll tear some stuff up for you. I wonder if there's anybody in here that'll tear some stuff up for them. A 3D pastor has to be willing to deal with discouragement. Number 2, he must understand that he has to be a developer. A developer. In verse 2 it says, everyone who was in distress, and everyone who was in debt, and everyone who was discontented gathered to him, and he became captain over them. David is not only a developer, he's developing. Remember in chapter 16, he's called the king. But he doesn't become the leader until chapter 22, verse 2. Chapter 22, verse 2 says, watch this, everyone who was in distress, and everyone who was in debt, and everyone who was discontented gathered to him, and he became captain over them. It's a wonderful thing when God calls you, because people will call you what God calls you. But there are some people who will call you John, and it means pastor. And there are other people who will call you pastor, and it means dog. And there's a process to everything. Just because God calls you something does not mean that you get to forego the process. There's a process to this thing. And you got to understand, 3D Church, that Pastor John is not going to be the same pastor after 5 years that he was the first year. And you have to understand that the first 5 years he's developing, and then when he gets to year 10, he's not going to be the pastor he was at year 5. And that's why I'm so grateful to have a body of people that put up with me for them first 10 years. Because I'm telling you, man, the first 10 years are rough, baby. You're trying to figure out who you are, what you doing, how you doing it. You see somebody, you trying to do what they do like they do, and it works. But you have to be a developer. Well, what do you mean a developer? He doesn't become the captain until chapter 22, verse 2. And David now gets to lead a group of 3D followers. No. How are you going to be a 3D pastor without 3D followers? Everybody wants to pastor the people in the penthouse. Nobody wants to pastor the people in the outhouse. What do you mean, 3D followers? Let's look at the text. Verse 2 says, everyone who was in the first distress. He got to pastor people who were in distress. Their own lives weren't easy altogether. They had problems of their own. Yet God called David at the cave to pastor a bunch of people with a bunch of problems. Ain't no big eyes, ain't no little U's, just a whole bunch of we's and us's. I got problems. You got problems. All God's children got problems. People who are in distress. Lord have mercy. I'll never forget when we started off in Decatur. Never forget it. I'm sorry, we weren't in Decatur. We were in the deck, y'all. There is a difference between Decatur and that's when I was first getting saved. See, everybody don't get saved the same way. When I first got saved, I wasn't all the way saved yet. I was out the street. Now, see, some of y'all ain't come from a real place like that, but I come from a real place. Do I have any people that come from a real place? I came from a real place, and I got some folks on the front row. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Say amen if I'm telling the truth. Man, when we used to have brothers start to get talking noise, man, I was so gangster with it. I used to go to their house. Hey, man, yo, Doc, you have something to say about me? I heard you were sitting. Am I lying? I'm flying. Somebody say amen. What's up?
I used to do the same.
Brothers get to talking noise. I say, listen, we're going to do some outreach. Get a bus full of brothers. Am I lying? Am I saying say amen? Get a whole bus full of brothers. 25 brothers. We're going to do outreach. Park them up in the corner. Now, which one of y'all got something to say? We can do it right here. I'm a man, dog. We all a bunch of men. But the truth of the matter is, when God calls you to pastor people, you got to embrace people who are in distress.
Yes.
You know when you're dealing with your own situation. David had to deal with people who were in distress, and David was in distress himself. He's living out of a cave, yo. And he has to deal with a bunch of people who are distressed. The number two, not only were they in distress, they were in debt. Nothing worse than having to pastor people. Struggle, y'all. The struggle is real. When you got people and you do an offering, and they get to cussing up under their breath. Some folk don't even cuss under their breath. They cuss out loud. Listen, and when you ain't nothing worse than being in the hood and trying to pastor and walk over the people who are in the hood and act like you're not in the hood. If you're in the hood, you got to meet the needs of the people in the hood. And ain't nothing wrong with being in the hood and having people who are in the hood. Ain't nothing wrong with pastoring the people who are in distress. Ain't nothing wrong with pastoring people who are in debt. Because the truth of the matter is, if we can't pastor people who are in debt and help people who are in debt get out of debt, then what are we doing? We came to pastor people. Let me tell you something. I didn't come to shout you today. I came to show you up and admonish you and let you know, man, you're going to have some people who are in distress. And let me tell you about people who are in distress. People who are in distress are people in trouble. And troubled people become troublemakers. And it seems like the people who should leave Preach! There are some people you be like, and then when a good person comes in, you can see him, and you see him getting ready to sit next to that person. You do everything you